to develop our Naira land. Citizens first. Citizens before state of origin. Citizens before your religion. Citizens before your ethnic belonging. For participation, call 0902 739 5555.
Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. The federal government is reassuring Nigerians that the second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and all the legacy projects under the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund will be completed and put to use within the second term of this administration. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance at the opening of a two-day midterm ministerial performance review retreat. We'll bring you the details and the costs of the bulletin. The ongoing remediation of oil spill affected areas of Ogoni land has been scaled up by the federal government to improve living conditions in the Niger Delta region. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the House Committee on Host Communities, during an oversight of some projects in Rivers State, urges beneficiaries to partake in the development initiatives.
The visit took committee members to some oil-impacted sites undergoing remediation and other livelihood support projects. Chairman of the House Committee on Host Communities, Representative Dumdeko, stressed that development projects in Ogoni land are targeted at mitigating effects of oil spill and bringing succor to residents.
In Ogoni land, because of course you are aware that most of our water is contaminated, and this one is one that we can say we commend. There's some improvement coming with the waterworks in Bori, right here in Eleme, and we can also see a facility that is very, very beautiful, which IPREP is using to make sure that water gets to the people of Eleme.
The hydrocarbon remediation project HYPREP was put in place by the federal government to implement life-changing projects, and the coming into effect of the Petroleum Industry Act will further enhance its activities.
The livelihood program is also gaining very fast speed. We're going to have youths who will be trained in the various skills that they have chosen to be trained upon or trained in. So basically that is a critical aspect of the work.
The committee believes human capital development will make more stable and conducive the atmosphere in the region. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Let's turn to the girl child as the world celebrates the International Day of the Girl Child. The focus has been amplifying the voice of the girl child to ensure their rights are being secured. Now, this was the goal as some midwives and nurses gathered at Government Girls Secondary College, Duse, Abuja, to educate students about menstrual hygiene and sex education. That's Yama from Butua Mila.
The International Day of the Girl Child is celebrated annually on October 11th to empower and amplify the voices of young girls around the world. The theme for this year's celebration is Digital Generation, Our Generation. Like every year, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, marks the day, reaffirming its pledge to promote issues of girls' development and safeguarding their rights. Celebrating the day, the Igala nurses and midwives visited Government Girls Secondary School Dutse, Abuja, to express their concern for the well-being of the girl child across Nigeria, enlightening them on sex education and menstrual hygiene.
You see a lot of girls are molested, they cannot speak because of fear of being punished or fear of being sent out of school or something. But we are here to encourage them that they can always speak for themselves.
The woman is the mother to the world, and this knowledge they're going to get about getting now is a knowledge forever.
We have been created wonderfully, beautifully, and in us, in fact, I can say we're better than the men, because whatever a man can do, a woman can do better.
Girls are futures of tomorrow. We are mother. We are meant to be strong. We are meant to be great. So to you out there, I want to say to you, don't let yourself be downgraded by nobody, because they didn't make you.
Distribution of sanitary pad and other hygiene products climaxed the program.
Amplify our voice.
In Abuja, Butul Miller, NTA News.
Well, relevant authorities must work with community-based structures, especially traditional and religious leaders, to address social and gender norms that impede transition to secondary education for the girl child. This is the submission of Ms. Dorcas Joshua, a girl appointed by the Ministry of Education as the Minister of State for Education on the occasion of this year's International Day of the Girl Child. Despite their preponderance, which outnumbered the boys, enrollment of girl child is jeopardized even when enrolled. Some of them don't transit from primary to secondary or tertiary institutions.
As the Honorable Minister of State for Education in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will ensure 1. More secondary schools are built in all states to match the number of girls graduating from primary schools with maximum of 2 kilometers distance from their homes. Ensure school connectivity to internet with modern facilities for all Nigerian children. Increase investment in education to close the gender digital divide. Invest in knowing more about girls.
Digital generation not without Nigerian adolescent girls is the theme chosen for 2021 International Day for the Girl Child. In Kano, we heard the day was colorfully celebrated as Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje temporarily stepped aside and allowed 13-year-old Atika Aminu Yankaba. Let's hear more from Abdullahi Mustafa.
Africa House is the banquet hall of the Kano Government House and temporary venue for the weekly State Executive Council meeting. This time around, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje temporarily stepped aside for 13-year-old Atika Aminu Yankaba.
Thank you, sir.
During the 1 hour she acted, a mock Executive Council meeting was held with fellow school children who acted as commissioners.
We need to enact policies that help develop the lives of our girls.
Issues of girl child education were deliberated upon and decisions taken on way forward.
Banning of begging in the streets, giving token scholarships to girls, increasing science colleges, providing hygiene kits, and employing female teachers.
Acting Governor Atika Aminu thereafter handed over to Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, who assured of his commitment to address all gender-based issues, especially education of the girl child. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Well, improved security, surveillance, parental guidance, and qualitative education are the demands of the Nigerian child as the world celebrates the 2021 International Day of the Girl Child. Let's hear more from Elizabeth Omori.
Adenike inspires to be a doctor, but her dream, she says, can only be actualized with a conducive environment devoid of threats and intimidation.
I expect that the girls' child, they should be trained very well, that to be told what they're meant to do, what they're not supposed to be doing. The female boarding school, adequate security, they should also be there.
So many like her have the same aspirations, and they're leveraging on the declaration of the United Nations General Assembly to support more opportunities for girls and address issues of gender inequality faced by girls worldwide in the areas of education, reproductive health, nutrition, and first marriage.
I expect to see girls doing things that they don't do before. I guess in different sectors in Nigeria, different things happening with a girl child involved in it.
Encourage them to stay in school, to be able to face their fears and be able to actualize their dreams and purposes. When parents do what they're supposed to do at the time they're supposed to do it, in the right measure, their girl child, their children generally will confide in them.
As they celebrate themselves, they believe the home front and government have roles to play in protecting their rights as they grow to become adults. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The Nigerian Association of Women Journalists has made a case for the rights, safety and education of the girl child in Nigeria. A statement signed by the national president, Ladi Bala, on the occasion of this year's International Day of the Girl Child calls on government at all levels to ensure equal opportunities and equality for girls and address persistent barriers that are inimical to the advancement of girls. Ladi Bala further calls for an end to those practices that hinder the chances of a girl child. She reiterates the need to educate the girl child about her rights and make healthy choices. Okay, I want to expand the discourse. We have a guest in the studio, Mr. Musa Aliyu. He's the Assistant Director with Child Development Department from the Ministry of Women Affairs. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, now, over the years, we have continued to witness significant progress when we're talking advocacy for gender equality, especially for the girl child. Now, this year is quite interesting with the theme, Digital Generation, Our Generation.
Yes.
What is it saying to us?
First of all, I would like to start by saying that the girl child is an individual who has been facing discrimination right from birth through her childhood. And it is pertinent to note that the girl child represents the continuity of the cycle of life. Without her, life is extinct. So the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, under the leadership of Dame Pauline Tallinn, has been doing a lot to make sure that the issues of girl child are given due priority. And then with the International Day of the Girl Child, which is today, the celebration today, if you observe, is unique.
Okay, now with this year is actually giving girls an opportunity, opportunities impact when we're looking at placing them, with digital realities, and it's all about amplifying their voices. What exactly do we need to change?
In fact, there is need to change a lot of things, especially things that has to do with our cultures, norms, and traditions, whereby the female child is not given the due priority that they deserve. So it is pertinent to note that this year's International Day of the Girl Child centered on digital technology, considering the fact that females, I would say, young girls, women, are at disadvantage. If you observe from various reports that we have from the National Bureau of Statistics, the Global Forum, they all indicated that the females are not duly represented. So in fact, the theme for this year's International Day of the Girl Child intends to focus on that discrepancy and make sure that the digital gap is being filled, and then we raise awareness on the need to ensure that the girl child is given the opportunity to explore the digital world in a protective manner and environment.
How far does the Ministry of Women Affairs intend to go with that? That's your department.
Yes, the Ministry of Women Affairs, in line with our mandate, sensitization and advocacy. The Honorable Minister of Women Affairs has been doing a lot in that area. And to start with, to show you or tell you how committed the Honorable Minister is to the issue of girl-child development in Nigeria, she has pursued with the head of civil service of the Federation, and approval was given for the establishment of a whole division called Girl Child Development Division in order to ensure that the issue of the girl child is given due priority, and then stakeholders will come together through that structure for us to really amplify the issues the girl child is facing and to make sure that solutions are preferred to ensure that the girl child attain her full potential in the country.
Indeed, that's the goal, and let's see that manifest. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we've been looking at issues around the girl child, but let's take you back to the story we called at the start, talking about the midterm Ministerial Performance Review Retreat. We have that ready for you, so let's see what happened.
The retreat, organized for ministers, permanent secretaries, and top government functionaries, has as its theme enhancing security, fighting corruption, and transforming the economy. Third in the series, the interactive engagement is designed to review the performance of ministers in the execution of programs and projects assigned to them upon appointment in 2019, identify key impediments, and re-strategize on how to accelerate delivery of results given the current economic situation.
This is intended to harness our collective contributions towards generating practicable solutions that will guarantee the level of impact we can be proud of by the end of our tenure.
President Muhammadu Buhari is delighted that the tradition of subjecting government policies and programs to independent and critical self-review has taken firm roots.
These steps have helped to identify and strengthen weak areas, close gaps, as well as build cohesion and synergy in governance to manage the economy and improve the delivery of public goods and services to Nigerians. Ministers are urged to work closely with permanent secretaries to ensure accelerated and effective delivery of the policies, programs, and projects in their respective priority areas. All issues relating to the implementation of the ministerial mandates must be taken seriously towards the attainment of the laudable objectives of our government.
Government's notable achievements in the areas of infrastructure, transportation, economy, electricity supply, the petroleum industry, amongst others, were highlighted by the President.
Some of the notable achievements include the establishment of Infraco PLC in 2020 as a world-class infrastructure development vehicle wholly focused on Nigeria, with combined debt and equity take-up capital of 15 trillion naira. We are growing the stock and quality of our roads, rail, air, and water transport infrastructure. The Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund projects are also advancing remarkably. These include Second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano Expressway, and the East-West Road to be completed within the second term of our administration.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has been directed to consolidate efforts at strengthening the work of the delivery unit under his coordination towards ensuring the effective implementation of policies, programs, and projects in the last lap of this administration.
Efforts are also being made to empower the youth and other vulnerable groups by enhancing investments in our social intervention programs. I have approved the expansion of the National Social Register by 1 million additional households. We have established the 75 billion naira Nigerian Youth Investment Fund to unleash the potential of the youth and to enable them to build businesses that will stimulate economic growth and create jobs.
During the opening ceremony, the Presidential Priorities Performance Management System aimed at tracking projects in real time and with live data has been unveiled by the President. In view of the importance government attaches to the retreat, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to sit all through the sessions lasting 2 days to listen to the cumulative assessment of his administration's performance. He will also join the discussions on best strategies to implement planned policies, programs, and projects that can significantly diversify the economy and sustain the current economic growth trajectory. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
All right, let's make a stop in Lagos. Adiola is set to bring us what's happening there.
Thank you, Ruth. Getting the society to come to terms with Down syndrome and accept those living with the condition has been a hard-won battle over the years. But this success would only mean little until it paves way for social inclusion with commensurate support from the society. This is the new goal as local and global attention shifts to the plight of people living with Down syndrome for the year 2021. Adeniyi Taiwo reports that a free medical outreach is one of the activities marking this year's Awareness Month.
It is October, their Awareness Month, and they are happy as seen in their dancing steps, which move in sync with the rhythm of the beats. A disorder in their chromosomes, however, sets them apart from the rest of the world, imposing on them a lifelong disability in communication, learning, and self-sufficiency. Blessing Usamoji is the mother of 35-year-old Matthew, the last of her 7 children, and the only one living with Down syndrome.
You just have to be taking care of them as you are taking care of babies. You know what I mean? It's not easy for a parent to have children like this.
Her determination not to hide or abandon her son is receiving support from the Down Syndrome Foundation of Nigeria, where Matthew and about 39 others are learning to become functional members of the society.
That is why it's good for parents to make a move. Don't put them indoor. Let them move out. Definitely you will see support.
Some of our young adults here have been trained in different areas of vocational skills. They can do a lot of things. We have a barbing salon where they are functioning very well.
Happy that the society has moved past the practice of hiding children living with Down syndrome, Rose Modi, who is the chief promoter of the foundation, says measures must now be put in place to fast-track their social inclusion.
We are appealing now to both the federal and the states, different state governments, to move now to the next level by implementing the law, putting the right structure on ground so that law would be effective. That's the next thing that is needed.
This medical outreach is the foundation's way of awakening the world to the need to embrace and support people living with Down syndrome. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Lagos State Government has unveiled a rebranded Certificate of Completion and Fitness for Habitation to enhance Building Quality Control Index with a view to curbing incidences of collapsed buildings across the Lagos metropolis. Musa Toliat has the details.
Sharp practices, including utter disregard for human lives, have resulted in various collapsed building incidents across the state. The launch of the Certificate of Completion and Fitness for Habitation seeks to enforce compliance with laid-down guidelines on building construction and to ensure that quick-fix developers don't escape the dragnet of government agencies charged with building control responsibilities.
We'll do everything to ensure that the laws of the states, that we abide with them as citizens. Because indeed, we have a responsibility that not only are you as developer, but we as your regulator, we as agency of government have to protect other citizens. And so that's why we see this effort and this collaboration as important.
The Lagos State Building Control Agency has been empowered to conduct stage-by-stage inspection on building construction to ensure property developers adopt quality construction method and materials throughout the period of work before issuing the fitness certificates.
Existing buildings seeking to obtain planning permit and buildings that have been detected to be distressed will be required to present satisfying results of non-destructive tests.
We are putting in place strategies that will ensure and serve as pedestal for improved service delivery.
High point of the event was the presentation of certificates of completion and fitness for habitation to 20 property developers whose buildings have been monitored from foundation to completion. To ensure effective monitoring across the state, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu presented more operational vehicles to Lagos State Building Control Agency and Lagos State Fiscal Planning Permit Authority. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
We're done from Lagos with Nationwide. We'll continue with Amina in Kaduna. That will be after the break. To stay with us.
The federal government, through NPHCDA, commenced Phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. Special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Midterm Ministerial Performance Review and the milestone of Buhari administration is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, incisive and educative on NTA at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710, Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
The Intra-African Trade Fair, IATF, is a key event that provides an unrivaled platform for African buyers and sellers to meet and explore business opportunities from the African continent and beyond. This year, Nigeria will again take part in the Intra-Africa Trade Fair in Durban, South Africa, from the 15th to the 21st of November 2021. This event invites Nigerian businesses to participate and showcase the best of our manufacturing talents, whether in the production of goods, cosmetics, fashion, agriculture, or digital technology. Grab the perfect opportunity to make valuable connections that will take your business to the next level. Register now to participate and showcase the best products Nigeria has to offer. Log on to www.nepc.gov.ng and let's showcase the best of Nigeria at this year's IATF event in Durban, South Africa, from the 15th to 21st November 2021. Africa is talking business. Be part of it.
Federal Road Safety Corps Kaduna State Command recorded a total of 350 road traffic crashes in 7 months. This is largely attributable to violation of traffic rules and regulations by motorists. Achari Maxwell in this report takes a look at the consequences of disobeying traffic lights.
Road
roads are getting smoother and the speed by drivers is getting higher, but the consequences of overspeeding are scary. With solar-powered panels, traffic lights at various road interjunctions in Kaduna work 24 hours, but some drivers will not obey.
In the day, there's, I can say, 60 to 70% level of compliance. And this is more so because there are traffic police at the intersections where you have these traffic lights.
Ibrahim Unabahi and other motorists who were victims of disobedience to traffic rules share their experiences.
2 weeks ago, he was stopped at the traffic lights at Angonsarki junction there, where that traffic light is. But Amma refused to stop. As I entered, I have the right of way, but he came and hit my car and even ran away.
I was a victim of disobedience to traffic rules, but it was my fault. I was stopped, but I refused to obey.
Road crashes in Kaduna were moderate between January and May, but increased in June and July. This the authorities attribute to heavy rains. Heavy rains or not, traffic managers say the wisest thing to do is to drive with caution. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
In line with the Nigerian Army's corporate social responsibility in reaching out to the less privileged, Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association reaches out to wounded personnel at the 44 Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun reports that wife of Chief of the Army Staff, Salamatu Faruk Yahya, led the Army officers' wives to the hospital.
With core objective of assisting the poor and the needy, including raising standard of living in barracks across the nation, wife of the Chief of Army Staff, Salamatu Faruk Yahya, and members of the Army Officers' Wives Association donate to the wounded personnel and other patients receiving treatment at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna.
It's just our own way of reaching out to them as mothers, as sisters, and as wives to show them that we are in prayers with them for God to heal them, and that while they are here recuperating, we will also want to show that we care for them.
The donation is coming after a similar gesture by the association to orphans and less privileged in the society. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Shamina. Welcome back. Huge investment in the power sector is expected in 2022 as federal government proposes more than 300 billion naira for the sector. Joshua Gita reports on some of the priority projects for the sector next year.
For 2022, 301.257 billion naira is allocated for the power sector. Among projects that will receive attention include Rural Electrification Access Program in federal universities at the cost of 1.25 billion naira, while 114 billion naira will be expended on the completion of renewable energy projects nationwide. 220.5 billion naira for multilateral and bilateral funded projects like Sungeru, Abuja Power Feeding Scheme, and Transmission Access Projects.
The President have done enough in investment in brownfield on the transmission grid infrastructure for, grid improvement package. This is the first time that we are seeing genuine intervention.
Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project is receiving attention in the 2022 appropriation bill with 200 million naira counterpart fund to be injected into the project.
Very wonderful. Our people are prepared. We've already sensitized them on the need for the project.
Also captured in the 2022 appropriation bill is Kashimbila Transmission Project and 430 million naira for the construction of 215 gas power stations in Kaduna, while 1 billion naira is appropriated for the distribution expansion project to utilize stranded power from the grid.
From our records, the federal government and the international development partners have injected almost $17.3 billion into electricity from 2016 till date. This budget again, funds are going into the sector. So I think the government is doing this.
Expectations are high among electricity customers that the investment in the sector will translate to improved power supply in the country. In Abuja, Joshua Ojitu, NTA News.
All right, let's make another stop, this time around Maiduguri, and Mohammed will guide us.
Thank you for joining us in Maiduguri. Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum has reiterated commitment to resuscitate business activities in Banki Town, a border community in Bama local government area of the state, famous as a commercial hub before it was overrun by the insurgents. This was during a night visit to the market area in Banki Town to assess resumption of commercial activities following the resettlement of the community. Mohammed Goni reports.
Banki Town, a community bordering the Republic of Cameroon, was known for cross-border business and commercial activities until it was ravaged by the Boko Haram insurgency in 2014, compelling residents to flee for safety. With the ongoing reconstruction and resettlement of the town, social and economic activities are gradually picking up, which informed the decision by Governor Babagana Umara to pay a visit to the market area around 10:30 in the night, where he interacted with the traders, giving them words of encouragement and cash support. Professor Babagana Umara, who was happy with what he saw, noted efforts made so far in the resettlement process and the provision of livelihood support.
It is gratifying to note that business activities has resumed in Banki Town. You can see Banki situation at 10:30 p.m. So this is the kind of progress that we have been looking for a long time. I think it's one of my happiest moments to see that we can walk around inside Banki Town at this odd time.
Governor noted the 168 million naira disbursed to over 4,000 beneficiaries with the support of the UNDP, while additional 50 million has been approved for disbursement by the state government. Traders who interacted with Governor Zulum expressed delight over the governor's visit, which they say has motivated them. Meanwhile, heavy-duty trucks and other commercial vehicles have been sighted along Bama-Banki route, signifying return of peace to the region, which has paved the way for trans-border commercial activities. The governor, on his way to Bama from Banki, addressed all military formations along the road, including those at Dara Jamal, where he also performed Jumat prayer with the military and announced government's decision to fully reopen the road for cross-border commercial activities and resettlement of ravaged communities along the Banki route, soliciting for their cooperation in that regard. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
General Officer Commanding 7th Division Nigerian Army Brigadier General Abdulwahab Eitayo has assured of the division's unwavering support of Course 5 2021 from the Army War College to acquire the necessary knowledge and skills needed for their course. The GOC gave the assurance when the Director of War and Strategy, Brigadier General Umar Alkali, visited him in his office. Maimuna Garba now reports.
The visit by the Director of War and Strategy to the GOC 7th Division was part of operational visit to the theater by participants from the Army War College to further understand the techniques of the ongoing counter-insurgency operations aimed at better equipping them for future assignments. GOC 7th Division Brigadier General Abdulwahab Eitayo described the operational visit as part of intellectual development and capacity building for the young officers to add value to their profession.
It is always expected that active participation from members of Army War College change the trend of events in this mission area. I'm talking of 2017 and 18. They are visiting again. I consider it another unique opportunity, which I will always be very eager to see what will come out of their deliberation.
Director of War and Strategy of the College, Brigadier General Umar Alkali, had, while intimating the GOC on the purpose of the visit, said he is optimistic that the 30 participants he came along with will learn more from the existing mission.
The participants are already doing their own work. From the college when we started, they have already done part of the estimate process up to their mission analysis brief, and they have a very clear understanding of the operations from their own perspective.
Meanwhile, the participants were hosted to a demonstration on countering IEDs and landmines on the war front, among other war techniques. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
It's time for another break. Nationwide will continue afterwards in Abuja.
Unity and rebranding Nigeria is a dream shared by all.
You are all invited at the pre-launch roadshow in preparation of launching of peace, unity, and rebranding Nigeria. Powered by Ambassador of Voice for Change Nigeria and supported by FCTA and NTA. Date 12 October 2021. Time 8 a.m. Meeting point at Eagle Square, Abuja, Nigeria.
Brought to you by the Ambassadors of Voice for Change Nigeria.
Welcome back. Women and youths in Aba North and South Federal Constituency are leveraging on the agro-empowerment program sponsored by their representative Chimobi Ebisike to acquire skills that will engage them meaningfully and make them self-reliant. Ifoma Ndu Okoli reports.
Over 400 women and youths are participating in the week-long farming empowerment program, which is aimed at enticing women and youths in the constituency to embrace agriculture and become self-reliant. Member representing Aba North and South Federal Constituency, Chimobi Ebisike, who was represented at the event, noted that the only way to address insecurity and fight criminality in the country is by engaging youths meaningfully.
The federal government is talking about diversifying the economy. A paradigm shift from from the mono economy thing we run here, bringing agriculture to bear.
Some of the participants bear their minds.
I believe at the end of this section, I will generate a lot of income from what I've learned so far.
Instead of our honorable member giving the youth and the women fish, he has given them the hook.
Starter packs will be distributed to participants at the end of the event to further address the challenges of inadequate capital to commence operation. In Umuahia, Ifoma Ndu Okoli, NTA News.
The Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, has certified and accredited 150 business development service providers under the National Business Development Service Providers in Abuja. Bosade Ibo, who was at the event, said the exercise is to address identified challenges facing the MSME subsector in the country.
These are some of the 150 business development service providers, BDSPs, who qualified and have been awarded practicing license to assist MSMEs in capacity training and facilitate desired growth required of them for the development of MSMEs in the country.
We are going to train entrepreneurs to be self-reliant.
Can you imagine if we now have competent people hand-holding and coaching them, how fast we can grow the economy?
The Director General of SMEDAN, Umaru Diko Rado, said SMEDAN established this framework for making sure the content of business development service providers is of the minimum standard and can propel Nigeria MSMEs to compete effectively with their peers across the globe.
We play a very major role in ensuring that we produce